stretch for the imagination that the performance you are about to witness could have happened. The year is 1962, and the Soviet Union and their ally, the Republic of Cuba, have been conspiring to install up to 40 nuclear missiles on Cuban soil. These warheads will have the capability to strike deep within the United States from our backyard, leaving the U.S. with no warning in the event of an attack. This is unacceptable, and President Kennedy has threatened military force as the missile sites are removed. The Cubans and Soviets have responded and declared that they are willing to use their nuclear arsenal if attacked. The Joint Chiefs of Staff have declared DEFCON 2, and the eyes of the world are now focused on the region. A naval blockade has been set up around Cuba, and now American low-level surveillance flights have increased from 2 flights today to 2 per hour. The world is on the brink of World War III. Many of these surveillance and operational flights are originating from Naval Air Station Key West in Florida. Key West is now the Gibraltar of the Gulf. Launching from Key West is a lone T-2 Buckeye fighter trainer jet. Armed with twin 50 cal machine guns and Zuni rockets, the T-2's mission is to search and destroy any planes that make it off Cuba. The Buckeye is now cleared for takeoff, and after a final check of its flight controls and ordnance, all 15,000 pounds of the Buckeye, will be hurled into the air with the 7,000 pounds of static thrust delivered from the Buckeye's twin J-60 turbo-jet engines. Here it goes now, folks, the T-2 Buckeye on patrol. As you can see, the T-2 is going to leap in the air at any second. As the pilot gets it up to speed, it'll really be moving out as it gets up to its max speed of 600 miles an hour. Wow, even though those engines are over 40 years old, they still sound awesome. Now, members of the audience, let's fast forward in time and tell us some more of this all-too-real story. As the T-2 is beginning its patrol off the coast of Cuba, a reconnaissance F-8 Crusader took some hits from a 37mm anti-aircraft battery. The Crusader is badly damaged, and the pilot has issued a distress call. The T-2 is the closest airplane in the area, and the pilot gets a snap vector to the location of the Crusader and the AAA battery. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the T-2 is going to look like after it crosses the coastline, heads to help out the Crusader, and take out that AAA battery. You can imagine what it would look like snaking between the hills and trees, hugging the terrain over the heartland of the enemy. Here comes the Buckeye now. Stage right. He's got the AAA battery in sight. Guns are armed. Ready? There he goes, folks. The T-2 just took out the AAA battery. He spots one more, and now the Buckeye's getting ready to go to a high bombing pass. What agility and power. Okay, now he's going to take it out with his rocket pods. The pilot's now on a high climb, air show left, getting ready for his bombing run. The T-2 was designed as a carrier fighter bomber and is very effective and accurate as a gun platform. Its huge speed brakes allowing it to approach the target and dive with Stuka-like capability. Destroyed the AAA targets of opportunity. Like I said, it's time to go find his buddy in the Crusader and give him cover. The T-2 will drop back low to the ground, and using his high speed, the pilot will try to avoid any enemy fire. Unfortunately for the T-2 pilot, his antics did not go unnoticed, and he was picked up on Soviet radar. And now somebody at the Cuban Air Force has received a very animated and upsetting phone call. The Cubans, who have been assisted heavily by the Soviets in both arms and personnel, react quickly to the American bogey and scramble the MiG-15 and MiG-17 that were on alert standby. The MiG pilots do not take airspace violations lightly, and their orders are to search and destroy. Now, high Air Show Center. A MiG-15, a MiG-17, getting ready to hunt down the T-2. Our T-2 pilot better be keeping his eyes peeled. These customers mean business, especially because they're not low-time Cuban pilots, but highly experienced Soviet combat pilots sent to assist the Cuban military. The MiG's ideal attack configuration is to climb high and strike from above, using the elements of speed and surprise to blast their opponent out of the sky. Our T-2 pilot better be keeping his eyes peeled. And wait, here he is! Air Show Center, over the top! Here comes the T-2! You must have spotted those MiGs early. T-2's now on a right brake. MiG-15 and MiG-17 Air Show left. Now beginning to turn in. Looks like we got the makings of a high-speed, head-to-head pass on our hands.